to our YouTube channel titled Vinyl City Broadcasting, your transit express to rock and roll trivia. I'm Marie, the host of VCB. As you can see, I'm not standing in front of the subway entrance in the city. I'm standing in front of Perez High School in Jersey City, New Jersey. This is where many a cappella groups went to school and were groomed by a hands-on creative staff that helped their students to pursue their dreams of singing street corner harmony. One of the many groups that took advantage of the music department curriculum at that time were the Concepts, consisting of Abe Santiago and Puly Perez, Ahmed Valentine, and Edwin Rivera. Maybe you remember hearing them singing out on the street corner, down in the subway station, in the halls and bathrooms of Perez High School, wherever they could find that elusive echo. We'll tell you a little more about them when we get to San Diego, where our new office is under construction. We're calling our California office VCB West. We're going to check on the progress of the studio. Also, Abe and Juan, two of the original members of the Concepts, are going to meet us out there, and we'll be interviewing them. This is going to be a travel day for Rico and I. We'll be catching the red eye to the West Coast. I've got my Southern California attire packed and ready to go, including my flip-flops. Well, we better leave. School is letting out. If you want to come along, we'll meet you at the Newark Airport in about an hour. If you can't make it, we'll see you all tomorrow at Cow Records in California.
How could you say words that take my breath away and will take you out of my arms? And someday we'll fly. I got a feeling down inside whenever you pass me by. Gee, my heart, when you watch me all the time. How could you?
We're in Cow Records, Ocean Beach, California. We've been here before and did an interview with the owner, Greg Hildebrand, a few months back. I just love this place, don't you? Records all over the place. And we're only a couple of blocks from the ocean and OB Pier. Greg is allowing us to use his record store today for the interview, as our new VCB West studio is not quite ready yet. Thank you, Greg, for allowing us to use your store. Like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be interviewing Abe Santiago and Perez today, both originally from Jersey City, but now in California. You might say this is where East meets West. Let me give you a brief synopsis of the Concepts. This well-known group and respected group was formed in 1962 and discovered by the entrepreneur and sage of urban street corner sounds, Stan Krause, founder of Catamount Records. This distinctive group was the first to record in a foreign language. Their recording, Yo Me Pregunto, I Ask Myself, was originally done with music by the Val Rays in 1963 on the Parkway label. Their a cappella version, recorded in 1965, was better received than the original version with music. It received considerable airtime throughout the New York metropolitan area. The concept's first citywide public appearance was at the Palace Theater in Jersey City to a sold-out crowd of teenagers. They appeared on stage at many other venues with such groups like the Royal Counts, the Heartaches, and the Persuasions. They had a smooth, versatile sound and harmony that embodied the Acappella culture at that time. Catamount Records featured one of their singles on their I Dig Acappella Volume 2 album, Cat Time label, which featured their version of Our Anniversary. I need to go to the other side of the store so I can interview Abe and Juan. Rico is ready to roll video. He had to set up a green seamless background. Sorry, that's all that was available, but it will suffice. We also have 3 background singers with us in the store today: Sherry, Yuki, and myself. We will be doing background vocals for Abe and Puly when they sing Dawn and Juan's original classic, What's Your Name? Girls, you're just 30 feet from stardom. I'm coming, Rico. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a few questions for both of you. We'll start with you, Abe. Why don't you tell us a little history about the concepts and how you guys got started singing a cappella back in the day?
Okay. Well, Puly, why don't you just give us a brief description?
Basically, it's like one day we bumped into each other and we each hit a tone and it sounded good, and we went from there. We started practicing and listening to everybody on the street corners, like they say, street corner harmony. That's exactly what they did. They'd get on the street corners after school, before school, lunchtime, you name it. That's where everybody would be at the certain time of the day. And so we did our thing too. We got our best friends together, which happened to all have good voices. Ahmed was our lead, rest in peace. He passed away early on, and we sorely miss him. And we did pretty well. We were very, very fortunate to make the first Latin American Spanish Yo Me Pregunto in a cappella. It was very well known, and we were really appreciative to the people that follow a cappella. So thank you very much.
Right, and just to add, we were just friends in school, and we were always good friends, and we were hearing so many groups singing on street corners, and we said to ourselves, hey, we could do the same thing, and that's what we did. We got together and we started singing, and before you know it, we had a crowd. I guess today you call it groupies, but at that time we just had a crowd of people who really liked the way we sung. And it was great, and it was a pastime. Singing was a pastime. It was like what basketball is today, or soccer is today. People play soccer or basketball, but for us, our pastime was singing, and that's what we did. And people really enjoyed the group sound when we were singing on street corners.
Well, yeah. We're certainly glad you found each other, you found your sound, and you had groupies. Now, a question for both of you. Where and when did you first hear this beautiful art form called a cappella?
Well, it's like Abe said earlier, it's you couldn't avoid it. On the way to school, back from school, going to lunch, going to the movies, it's all over. I mean, guys were singing, and girls were just as good. They had female young ladies singing at the time. They were really, really terrific young singers, and they went a long ways too, and they inspired the a cappella background too for everybody. And like they said also, we just kept at it, and we'd group every time that we could. We practiced. We started off with the single easiest songs like Gloria, and we went on from there. And and we were fortunate enough to even sing at the Apollo, right, Abe?
That's
We
right.
sang there, and they had like an amateur night at that time, and we were just lucky to go there, let alone just have the reputation of the Apollo. So we were just counting our blessings to be there. So I was
Yes.
really glad.
Yes, it was. It was just a great time. During that time period, there were groups all over the place. A lot of high schools had a lot of singing groups, and you find groups singing all over. Groups singing in bathrooms, groups singing on subway platforms. Group singers in the hallways. It was just a great time, and those spots were the best place to sing because the acoustics was very good. The walls at that time period was made out of marble, so when you go into a bathroom to harmonize, you could hear the harmony. It was super great because of the marble walls and the marble floors. The same thing with the hallways. They're all made out of marbles because they were older buildings. So the acoustics was really great, and when we sang, the sound was fabulous. So it was really, for us, it was something that was taking place, and it was really great for us, and we really enjoyed it.
It was really good memories all around for not only just for us, but all the other groups around us at the time, the young ladies, the young guys, and Mrs. Marrow in our music class in high school. She was the most loveliest woman I've ever come across, next to my wife.
Right.
But my mom, of course. But she was so loving, and time. She would give all her time, even though it wasn't part of the curriculum. She devote her time to come in after class, and she'd sit us down, and she'd give us do this. You gotta sing this high. You gotta sing this low, and she'd school us on that. And I give her a lot of credit for all the music that we learned, how to harmonize, and I'll never forget Mrs. Marrow. So
Yeah.
she really brings back good
Yeah,
memories.
you're absolutely right. Yeah, our music teacher was a great teacher, Mrs. Morrow, and she really encouraged us. She says you can do it. She believed in us, and before we knew it, we made a commercial recording. Our songs, our records were played on the radio. Our records were sold in stores, and we were in live shows in New York and New Jersey. So it was really, really a great time for us.
I'm certainly glad you guys had such wonderful memories, a great music teacher, performing at the Apollo, and being a part of this wonderful a cappella sound.
Thank you.
Now, Abe, tell us about your new book, The Hudson Sound, or your book, Acappella, Living in the Shadows, 1963 through 1973, A Social History. When will it be available for purchase, and what promotion, if any, are you going to do?
Well, my current book is Acappella, Living in the Shadows, and it's been a real success. That book has really been a great success. And this time, for the past couple of years, I've decided, I really want to focus on a regional sound. And as many people know, during the 1960s and into the 70s, there were regional sounds that dominated Americana. There was the psychedelic sound in northern San Francisco. There was the surfing sound in Southern California. There was the Motown sound from the Midwest. So there were a lot of regional sounds, but no one has really put together or investigated the sound that came out from the East Coast, a cappella, singing in the R&B style. And I call it the Hudson sound because that's what it was, because it was vocal groups from New York and New Jersey singing a cappella. And so what I did, I just put together, I took some things from my previous book, and I just added some things to it, and I just put it all together, and I made it a little bit more understandable what the Hudson sound is, and the impact that it had from Boston all the way to Philadelphia. So it should be coming out sometime in October or maybe November.
Okay, well, we really look forward to the release of your new publication, The Hudson Sound.
Thank you.
Now, Abe and or Puly, what other info would you like to impart to our VCB audience today?
Well, I would really like to give a big shout out to James J. Ferris High School, because if not for the high school, none of this would have really, had roots for me and Abe and our friends back in Jersey City, because that's where we always, of course, we had to go to school, but that's where we met after school to get our tunes chimed in and practice and whatever led from there to our futures. And for those that don't know, you probably recognize Juan Perez, but I'm Puly. Over here is Abraham, but he's Bubba. So for those you guys watching from Jersey City that happen to catch this video, shout out to you too.
Right.
And thank you for your support of Acappella.
Yeah, and the funny thing that Puly mentioned Ferris High School, I have a section in my new book about Ferris High School and the impact they had on vocal group harmony. So I think it's a tribute to Ferris High School that we went to. And I think those who graduated from Ferris High School would get a kick out of just reading some of the things about the music. The music flavor that Ferris High School produced.
Sounds good.
Well, Abe and Puly, thank you so much for your contribution to the wonderful a cappella sound.
And thank you, Enrico, for your support too.
Thank you so much.
Now, before we end the interview, why don't we do a little a cappella?
Okay. What do you want to try then?
I don't know. What do you think?
Gloria, or what's your name, or?
Oh, let's do What's Your Name?
Okay, let's try it.
Okay, that's right. Okay, let's see. What's your name?
What's your name?
I have seen you before. What's your name?
What's your name?
May I walk you to your door? It's so hard to find a personality with charms like yours for me. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. What's your name?
What's your name?
Is it Mary or Sue? What's your name?
What's your name?
Do I stand a chance with you? It's so hard to find a personality with charms like yours for me. Ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. What's your name? What's your name? Shoo-ba-ba-da.
Yeah, we still got it, Bubba.
Yeah, we still got it.
They still do have it, don't they? How do they do it? If you ever decide to go back on the road and need backup singers, Sherry, Yuki, and myself would like to volunteer our services. We did a nice ooh-wee, ooh-wee, ooh-wee. Don't you agree? We also had the privilege of spending a couple of days with Abe and Puly talking street corner harmony. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time and allowing us to interview you. I know you just put this all together at the last minute, especially singing a few lines from the classic song, What's Your Name? Rico and I were amazed on how good you guys sounded after not singing together for over 40 years. You really nailed it. And we appreciated the background vocals from the girls. Your story about Mrs. Morrow from Ferris High, we really appreciated that. That might be true for many of us. That one teacher who really took an interest in their students, helped them to excel, to fulfill their dreams. Maybe it was your music teacher, like Abe's and Puly's. Such good talent came out of Ferris High School in Jersey City. Back in the day, don't you think so? Remember to check out Abe's book, Acappella, Living in the Shadows, which can be purchased on Amazon. and by the end of this year, his new book, The Hudson Sound, will be available for purchase also. We'll keep you updated. All the above information, along with Abe's information, will be posted on our last slide. Write it down. If you like our VCB videos, please hit subscribe or share when you go to YouTube. We're ready to catch the red eye back to New York, Rico.
This is your pilot speaking. We'll be landing in Newark's Liberty International Airport in about 15 minutes. Rico and Marie from VCB asked me if we could all put our hands together and give a shout out to Abe and Puly of the Concepts and all the Acappella groups from Jersey City, especially those from Perez High School.
My toes are curled so much.
Get my head examined, scooty wop up, doody wop up, bum 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 bum, photo. You wop up, you wop up, you wop up, you wop up. I should get my head examined, scooty wop up, doody wop up.